Hello, and welcome to the Wirecast, the video podcast of Wiregrass Georgia Technical College. Welcome back to the Wirecast. I'm your host, Michael Williams. I'm excited to introduce our guest for today, Michael Smith. He's the CEO of the Greater United Way. He is a Lowndes County commissioner, and he is also on the Foundation South Board of Directors for Wiregrass Georgia Technical College, among so many other things. So welcome to be with us today, Michael.
I'm honored to be here. Very excited about this experience.
Well, I've known you probably 4 or 5 years now. Every event that I go to that's important, you're there. And I know you're at a lot of them that I don't get invited to because you're more important than I am. But I was thinking about you the other day because I serve on some boards, and I was kind of feeling sorry for myself going to work on a day off. And then I thought, Michael Smith's probably got 5 different board meetings today. So just will you tell us a little bit about your background? I know you're a lifelong resident of Valdosta, and how'd you come to be all these things?
Well, I mean, I really just enjoy helping the community and serving and really advocating for the South Georgia region, and now been able to find a career that allows me to do that, to connect and advocate and talk and just, hopefully inspire people to give and support their community. My background is, yes, I'm from here, went to Valdosta High School, then played baseball at Valdosta State, got to play a little minor league ball, came back, got in our family businesses. We were in the gas, alcohol, tobacco retail stores for many, many years. So I still see myself as a small business like owner, manager. A lot of my family has different businesses. But then have now recently, the last 7 years has gone by quick, moved into the nonprofit human service space and recently into, the political realm. But I enjoy serving on boards and engaging the community. We need to get more people that want to take the time to volunteer, serve, coach T-ball or teach Sunday school, whatever it is, just get engaged and give back to your community somehow. But being on the Wiregrass Foundation board and vice chair, I guess now for almost 10 years I've been involved is really a strong passion of mine. Wiregrass is easy to advocate, and you see the results that y'all are doing for not just the Valdosta campus, but for the region. I even paying tuition right now. Have a stepdaughter that is out here doing nursing, so I see the benefits of Wiregrass.
That's amazing. What's your stepdaughter's name?
Sarah.
Sarah. When will she graduate?
In May with a RN nursing degree. So she's very excited, and we're pleased about that. And it's a good experience, affordable, and effective, and that's what's so great about the tech college system of Georgia. Get in, get out, and get a job.
Well, you're a true advocate. We're always proud to have a board member who has a kid at school with us, and that's putting your money where your mouth is. You really believe in Wiregrass, and I got a daughter that's going to be starting some classes with us next year. So
yeah, and I've got 2 in high school, so we'll see where they go, whether it's tech or 4-year or they're starting to figure that out, but they're still freshmen and sophomores. But it's nice to think about the youth and, life ahead and opportunities. So try to encourage them to seek out as many schools and majors and figure out what they truly love and have a passion for, and then move forward with that. There's a lot of good opportunities across our region for higher education.
For sure. And so you've been with us 10 years. We were just talking about, there's been a lot of changes at Wiregrass in 10 years.
There is, and it's so critical what Wiregrass does with the degrees, the certificates, the way they create the workforce of the future, and really not just blue collar, white collar, but it's like new collar jobs and new demands in industry. And seeing the new health science building go up, there's more buildings going up on this campus, and of course Fitzgerald and the Douglas campus are having a lot of excitement and growth, and more money coming in for scholarships, and really excited about seeing the whole, marketing and alumni effort so that these students, whether they went to Valtech back in the day or Wiregrass, can be proud and connect and see the campus that they have their degree in. And I encourage everybody to come out and see the campus for themselves and what all is going on out here, because it's an exciting feel and very modern feel out here, especially at the Valdosta campus.
Sure. I went to a four-year university, and we were using those old chalkboards and chalk. You walk into Mark Hall, that's a $30 million building. I mean, you definitely feel you're at cutting edge allied health technology.
Yes, and the different labs and classrooms, or the kids are really getting that experience in like a simulated ER floor too. In that space is just so important, so that those students are learning, and the ambulance that you can test and work in the back before you get out on the road in a real ambulance. I mean, that it's so important, that the real life experience in the classroom.
Absolutely. Well, talk to us a little bit about your work with the United Way.
Well, like I said, I'm the CEO of the Greater Valdosta United Way. We have a small but mighty staff that's working hard. We cover multiple counties now across South Georgia. But United Way is a 100-plus-year-old organization, one of the largest nonprofits, not only in the country but in the world. About $5 billion comes in globally with large corporate and regional and national partners. And then every United Way is its own 501c3 with local board and staff and funding focuses. But our mission is to mobilize the caring power of the community. Pretty simple. Just try to get people engaged, inspired, and giving. And then we try to work and look at the financials, talk to the directors, advocate, market, and just really create some efficiencies in that human service space. Just how the chamber is really focused on business, we're more focused on the nonprofit human service sector, so that people can, work out those needs. And then we provide funding for programs. We partner with nonprofits, but we fund programs, is how we operate. And then we also do some of our own work in direct services. We help with utility, some rent, food assistance. We're very focused on mental health access, trainings, awareness, especially pushing the 988 number, which is critical number to call. You can get a mental health specialist in less than 10 seconds in Georgia by dialing 988. If you or someone is in a suicidal or mental health crisis, that's definitely a number to know, just like 911 is a critical number to know. So we do all that, and right now we're very focused on disaster response and long-term recovery with back-to-back hurricanes.
Yeah.
Luckily 2025 was a break, but
we deserved a break.
We deserved it. But even right now, we're helping, volunteer and support the cold weather sheltering in our community and some others. So just trying to step up where disasters and needs arise. And we're thankful that we have donors and corporate partners and individuals that care enough to give us the money to then oversee and distribute. It takes money, it takes volunteers, it takes, tangible resources, and just people giving and supporting for it to work. So
that's great. You were sharing some success stories with us before the podcast started. So are you willing to speak about like Hurricane Helene in Douglas, Georgia, and you guys helped somebody recently with home repair?
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of that. We were able to give money out across all of our 11 counties last year. We're focused on doing that with some assistance. We've had somebody reach out, elderly person that has to put a certain amount of dollars down for the bigger repairs to happen in some of this disaster response, and we're going to be able to support their down payment in those repairs, and looking at many other ways that things are funneling to us, and we're luckily in a strong enough financial position that we can help and have those donors that care, along with coordinating resources. You have Team Rubicon, Corps, Salvation Army Disaster, Red Cross, and others, all trying to coordinate those resources to get people housed and repaired, whether that's FEMA support, insurance support, and others. But it's new to our area and region, but there's a lot of places that are struggling to respond. A lot of churches have really stepped up in some of these communities.
They were the Baptist churches were helpful during Hurricane Helene.
There were many that stepped up, in the national disaster organizations that came in. We were honored with the Georgia House of Representatives did a resolution proclamation about United Way's effort in the hurricane response. It was really a big honor that the state of Georgia legislators saw that we were critical in that response. And so we're thankful for that. But it was a busy, it's really been a busy 7 years from COVID, inflationary pressures, multiple hurricanes. But I like that. I like having every day being a different day and experience, and trying to coordinate resources the best I can for the community and the region. So.
Who would you say is among your biggest partners? I know you've done a lot of work with the Boys and Girls Club. We were talking about that earlier as
Mm-hmm.
well.
Yeah, last year, a little over $1 million that we know. We're still getting, final data, and it's not, audited financials yet for 2025. But a little over $1 million went to the 22 impact partners, with another couple of 100,000 in other grants, services, and opportunities. But yes, Second Harvest was probably our largest receiver of funds, right behind the Boys and Girls Club. And we're working on that right now to get those dollars out for program and support this year. They're both wonderful organizations, and we help some very small organizations. Some organizations $3,000 or $5,000 means a lot. Others it takes a lot more than that for them to operate. But very, very exciting times, as especially like the Boys and Girls Clubs expanding into these other rural counties that don't have child care programs or activities for the whole county. And so it's important that those child care and activities and after school programming's there, so that parents can work and live and engage in that. So community development is workforce and economic development, and Wiregrass plays a huge part of that, along with many others. You spoke about some of our supporters. Publix is a huge supporter. Georgia Power, SGMC, AT&T, Caterpillar, and then on the local level, like Miller Hardware, Synovus Bank, Guardian. But we have large corporate partners, national partners, and then smaller regional and local partners. So.
Well, they're doing great work. We had a partnership with the Boys and Girls Club this summer where we went out. We brought a slew of instructors out there. We put programmatic activities in front of every kid in that place, and I was just so impressed with it. I was impressed with the number of kids out there being served, with the quality of the facilities. Anybody'd be proud to swim in that pool. I mean, that game room, and the kids were incredibly well behaved. And then we selected a certain group of them and brought them out here and put them through some training over the next week. It was a blast.
Well, what y'all do by engaging those kids, especially even now in the elementary, middle school level, to think about college and opportunities and careers is so important. And the Boys and Girls Club, the YMCA, and other after-school programs are a good place to connect. Even y'all hosting Girls on the Run 5K out here. That's hundreds of kids and parents that may not have been at Wiregrass, seen the new facilities, or thought about what Wiregrass and the college can provide for them. And so, we have 2 Day of Caring projects a year, and Wiregrass is always engaged and supporting, and usually volunteers at the Boys and Girls Club. Y'all have helped paint a lot of different rooms there, but we're wanting to expand those Days of Carings into other communities, and we also have people that reach out. Recently, Moody reached out wanting to have a squadron come and trying to figure out what volunteer opportunities there are. So we're piecing that together right now and try to send them to the most effective use of their time and who has the needs right now. So that's what it's all about, relationships and intentionality. And so I'm honored that United Way is focused on that. And I have a great board that allows me to do the job that I get to do, and my team. So
that's great. Keep up the good work.
Well, it's all of us. There's many parts of this for our community and county to thrive. Valdosta is the capital of South Georgia. We're the economic hub, Valdosta Lowndes County, and so we have a responsibility to have resources, cultural activities, healthcare activities, education for South Georgia and the region to grow and respond. And that ties into my being such an honor to now be a Lowndes County Commissioner and get to see how those pieces fit together with fire, water, sewer, police, public safety, and it's a great honor and privilege and responsibility, but it's working out well when we're all working together. And you see that
you got a pretty good board, I think.
We do. But the winning communities keep growing and winning, and it gets tougher in other communities. And I think Valdosta Lowndes County is right on that cusp of not just being a big small town, but a smaller big city, and that responsibility that goes with that as we as we grow and prosper and for not just our community but the region.
Well, did you always have a notion you might want to step into politics, or was that something that came recently, or?
I would say it's always been in the back of my mind for many years as far as just serving and engaging the community and connectivity. And I mean, anybody that knows me knows I like to talk and connect with people. So the campaigning part is a lot of fun. I mean, I had 3 races to go through in 2024, so I got a lot of that, experience. But I'm just inquisitive and like to learn and engage and see how the pieces fit together. But it has moved that way, especially after the 2 hurricanes, seeing some of where our community rose to the challenge and then other areas where I thought we could do better. That really helped. And then also very passionate about the potential of I-75. I mean, we have 8 exit ramps on and off, a lot of jobs tied to that, hospitality, retail, a lot of sales tax, visitor spend. The more we can get people to stop in our community for 5 minutes or 5 days, the better we are. And I still think, of course, Wiregrass, Moody, VSU, SGMC are critical, but we would not be where we are if it wasn't for I-75. The communities that have the interstates running through them, have so much more revenue, visitors, experiences, and so I'm really, really passionate about visitor and tourism and the growth. And so that was a board I was on many years. Tourism Authority. I was chair for that for a couple of years and served on that. But so it gave me a perspective of what all we can do, or how many jobs are tied into visitor spending. But you serve on a board, you're engaged and you learn about the different avenues and sectors, and that's what's so great about the Wiregrass Foundation Board. The people around the room, the experience, but also seeing the kids getting scholarships, the foundation being able to help support funding for car repair, eyeglass equipment, computers, all those things that the state may not be able to fund, that the students and the kids need, or the non-traditional students coming back for skill sets need to achieve their goal. And quality education is the key to success.
I don't think people realize just how many students get helped every semester, and it's not just the scholarships that we sort of advertise on social media, our named scholarships, but I've seen Mona go into that registered not paid list and find every kid that owed $100, and she pays that out of the foundation.
Yeah.
That's not really a scholarship, but she saved them. I mean, I saw that happen this semester. We had like 150 kids on that list, and then Mona sent out an email and said, I just resolved 98 of them.
Wow.
And some of them is $5.
Yeah.
But that might prevent them from going to college.
That's exactly right. I mean, you don't understand the challenges, and that's one thing I talk about when we talk about help people. Of course, it takes people, that have the means to write some big checks, but $5 a paycheck, if thousands of people are doing it, makes a big difference. And for a lot of people, helping somebody or keeping them from a bad situation or keeping them in school and engaged could just be a few $100 of support for books and transportation or medical equipment that they have to pay and support. So it's great that the donors that support Wiregrass and the foundation and looking for that, because you want to, decrease the obstacles as much as possible so someone can get a certificate and a degree and improve their, quality of life, and not just their life, but the generational, their children's life and grandchildren's lives, and how it works down and be, productive, engaged members of the workforce that we need, not just for Valdosta Lowndes County, but for South Georgia. So the more skills you have, the better opportunities you're going to have. The harder you work, usually the luckier you get.
That's right. So it's not luck.
Yeah. So I'm excited and honored that Mona and the team look so hard for that, and clears that up for people, because it's stressful enough being in school and managing life or kids and second jobs or third jobs or everything else, and then not have those dollars that you may need to get the equipment that you have to have for your schooling. And some of the Wiregrass programs, I mean, especially like nursing, it's demanding. It's hard to work a side job and be a full-time nursing
That's
student.
a hard program at any college in America.
Yes, and I know there's different programs that have more flexibility, or you could work and then pay, but Wiregrass is very affordable. It's a great, bang for the buck and results. And then, but there are certain programs that it's hard to, you know, be a full-time student and still bring in extra revenue to pay for those classes. And I think you're seeing the state put out some more scholarships and opportunities,
Sure.
and then Hope and other things that are coming to help address those kids that, you know, maybe just struggling to stay in class. So you want kids to, you know, not have, to me, have every opportunity to get their degree, and they just need to be focusing on their grades. You know, now if you don't make the grades, that's a different story. You know,
That's true.
but if you're making good grades and showing up to class and doing your best, then, you know, it's exciting that the foundation and other people are trying their best to get them across the finish line.
Absolutely. I remember years ago there was a kid in Ben Hill that quit showing up for class, and somebody did a deep dive into it. He was homeless, and he rode a bicycle to school, and somebody stole his bike, and so the foundation bought him a bike. You know, that's the kind of things you don't think about that happens sometimes with the foundation. It does change lives.
It does, and that's where it goes back to just being intentional and asking those questions, and those kids or students or adults, however, you know, they're defined, reaching out to their professors, you know, getting help, whether, like you said, that's physical and tangible support, or the mental health support that they need, and not being afraid to ask for that help, because for the most part there's resources, or there's people that care, that want to give back. I mean, I would assume every teacher out here, every admin wants to get the student across the finish line and employed at the end. And y'all's employment rate is unbelievable. I don't want to say any numbers.
99%.
Yeah, I wanted to say it's like 97+%, but 99%.
Yeah, and then in field it's slightly lower, but yeah, I mean, most of the kids that come out here get a job. If you want a job, you're going to get a job.
That's right, and we need we've got plenty of great employers that are coming in, bringing, you know, quality, high-paying jobs, but they require skills, and so it's exciting that Wiregrass is providing that, and y'all have the ability to quickly pivot to what the industry and local employers need out of their workforce to bring in new degrees, certificates, programs in a timely manner, so that the businesses can keep moving forward.
Well, even you know, what used to be called industrial systems out here, that was kind of like an industrial mechanic, and then that's automation technology now, and most of the certificates within it say robotics. You know, so that field's changed greatly. You know, that guy doesn't have grease on his arm anymore. Like, he's got an iPad in front of him and a lab coat, and he's programming the machines that run the automation in the industry.
Well, I wish I was more handy. I end up having to pay a good bit for services because you know, when the power goes out, when the air conditioning goes out, when your car needs repair, you know, those people that know how to do that can make a good living.
Well, if you got a plumbing problem or an electrical problem, you don't ask what it costs. You just call the guy and say, "When can you get here?"
That's right.
So they set their own salaries. There's some good money in those programs now.
And I think it's amazing the way y'all connect with the public. I don't think a lot of people understand that you can come out here and get massages, get your hair cut, get your teeth cleaned. I've come out here many times and gotten my teeth cleaned, and it's really good and quality, and you're helping the student get the experience that they need. So I encourage people, you know, really reach out and see what kind of services that Wiregrass can help provide for you at a very cost-effective way. It may take a little longer because the kids and the students are needing that experience and time, but it's well worth it to come out here.
Absolutely. Yeah, they're working on my truck right now in Ben Hill. I hope they're ready. They're done with it today. But I wanted to ask you too, you've got a good social media presence. You're here with our marketing team. We were talking about your social media earlier, and you went viral. You and your wife did a polar plunge around this time last year, didn't you?
We did. It was crazy that you think about the snow and 3 to 5 inches of snow, and we decided to jump in the pool and film that and do a polar plunge. And it was cold, but, you know, refreshing, and thankful that she was willing to do it with me. But yes, a lot of people saw that, and it was exciting. And I try to think about different ways to just engage. Mainly, I share between United Way and politics and community engagement, just different events, whether it's, you know, Wiregrass or a nonprofit or, you know, VSUs or community things, because, you know, everybody wants attendance. I also hear a lot of people say there's nothing to do in Valdosta, and there's plenty to do every day. I mean, whether Wild Adventures is open or not, or community partners and festivals and parades. So I try to just share information. I'm only on Facebook. I haven't gotten into Twitter and Snapchat and TikTok and all that. My kids are, but I
get them to teach you.
They've been talking about it, but I just kind of picked one and been staying with it. And I like seeing the memories pop up. Like one popped up from 9 years ago of me taking my daughters to the Jacksonville Zoo and just seeing how much they've grown. And those years go by quick, and trying to enjoy where they were and where they're at, but then also seeing the women that they're going to be in the future, and be
How many
enjoying
daughters do you have?
Collectively, me and my wife, we have 5, oldest son, and then 4 girls. So
I got 3 girls. So you have a lot in common.
Yes, it can be a lot of teenagers coming and going, and not knowing who's stopping by. It's like who's coming over for dinner tonight. But
that's right.
But it's exciting, and I always enjoy getting some time to be part and learn about their life, and the youth. I still think I may be 25, but my body's telling me I'm not. So
I feel that too.
It goes by quick, but it's a good experience, and that's why it's so important to keep up with your health and engagement, so you can stay young at heart maybe as long as possible.
That's right. Well, we appreciate your tireless advocacy for South Georgia, and if you had a young person come to you and say, "How can I get involved? How can I make a change in my community?" What kind of advice would you give them?
Well, depending on what your age is, but I mean, about anywhere you can volunteer, give back, be involved in your church, your school, youth leadership lounge. The adult version of leadership lounge is great. If you live in another county or community, look at their leadership programs. And and if you're a college age student, don't just be at school. Be involved in the clubs, the activities, whether that's at VSU or other schools or out here at Wiregrass. There's always plenty of ways to volunteer on a board, service, engage, and support and give back, because that's where you find, at the end of the day, relationships matter. If you're working a part-time job, that may be your full-time employment. You may meet somebody, at the cash register that then sees your potential and personality and wants to hire you. So you have to get out, build your resume, engage, serve, and, it's still a lot about relationships and connectivity for the future, and for the best success you can have. So don't think that it's just going to come to you. You got to get out and experience life and engage.
Sound advice.
Well, thank you.
I appreciate you being on the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you.